these and more. B1039.
Morning sun lights the day, Pat and Brian on the way. Stories of a small town life. Sports and joy cut like a knife. Hot stove leading for a chat. High school dreams and college stats. Wednesday morning tales unfold. Memories and news retold. Tune in B1039. Curries voice and life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side. Lively blue rats. Hearts alive.
Brought to you by Zots Bar and Grill in Big Rapids and also by Big Rapids Tire. Morning,
Good
sir.
morning, Bobby. How are you?
Okay.
It's half moon out there, you might call it.
Yep. Okay.
What do we call
Half
that?
moon.
When it's cloudy and stuff like that.
Yeah, cloudy.
Overcast.
Yeah, there you go.
I call it a beautiful day because I'm alive.
There you go.
That's right.
Good morning, Sheriff Miller, and your
Morning.
beard.
Morning.
Growing the beard, is that something you're doing at your company of the Sheriff's Department? Or is it
No, just something
Because
different.
You're a baseball coach, you're trying to look like one of the coaches out there at top of the level. Are they growing beards or what?
Just trying something different.
Something different. How about top?
That's never going to happen.
Never going to happen up there.
No, not through certain parts.
Well, you know, Bob, and our world today, it's kind of a struggle to be a parent. But when you're an overachiever as a parent, as our guest is today, that's compliment to humankind. And I just love it when I see parents become good parents, and I evaluate them as how their children come into the gas station and react to different things that I ask them, and their handshake and eye-to-eye contact. And this lady's done a great job with her young lady and young man that she's raising.
2 daughters and a boy.
2 daughters and a boy. Yep, thank you, Brian. That's why I have a co-host. We have so many guests, I sometimes flutter once in a while, but on this one I got it right on because I know her son real well. A good young man. But today we got some tennis people in here. And yesterday we talked about a little bit about tennis. What was that, Bob? What
You had Renee Kent on yesterday.
Yeah, Renee Kent. Yeah, thanks. Well, that was yesterday. Today's new. But my nephew Chris Ponce out of Ludington, he was a pretty good tennis player, and for that high school over there. And then years later, he's the one that started the Dexter High School tennis program down there. And
Long 94.
And in his interview with the parents that were hiring him or whatever, the board there, they asked him, is it more important winning or having fun? And his response was, winning is fun. And that's so true, isn't it? Winning is fun. We have a great program here, and it's kind of a tradition. We talked yesterday with Renee about that, her coaching 18 years and some of the highlights of her career. And one was I was very proud to say my daughter-in-law, Amanda Curry, now it was a Peterson, her and Stevie Delaney were quite the
Names
couple.
from the past there.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty neat. But Brian, I'm going to go ahead and have you introduce the group that we have here today. And
All right. Well, so I reached out a few days ago to Big Rapids Girls High School assistant coach, Erin Bowman, and then along with head coach Jeff Mosel. Jeff couldn't be here today. He's probably fixing somebody's foot or something, or taking a tattoo off somebody or something. I don't know. But so he said, yeah, have Erin come out, and then we'll also have Reece Bowman, who is Erin's daughter, and then Brenna Mosel, who is Jeff's daughter, part of the team, come out and speak about the season. Maybe talk to Erin a little bit about her career and the guidance that she and Jeff are providing to that team. Brenna's a senior, Reece is a junior. Brenna's committed to go to Ferris State for volleyball, so we can have her and Tia back coming around the bend. And
wow,
so
you're a senior this year?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. And then, do you have a twin?
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was in
St. Mary's again.
Pardon?
St. Mary's kids.
Yep. I got to tell you a little story about the Bowman boys. From Canadian Lakes, great family out there. I knew their great grandpa actually, Don, back in the day. That's how old I'm getting. But I've been fortunate to know the generations of them, and I don't know if there's two finer boys than Max and Jack. They both went to St. Mary's. They both are very respected by their peers. I think they're going to be our future leaders someday. I really do. I just think the world of them. But I got to tell you, as you get older, and I've been pretty good at names, and once I name somebody, that's their name forever. Travis Palmer.
Travis.
Well, he was Jason to me for years, and when we built our new home, he came over and helped Penny and I put the floor down and a few other things, and I was calling him Justin all night long, or Jason all night long, and my wife says, does he know your name? He goes, he's been calling me that name forever. But anyway, Jack and Max, I get them mixed up. So Max was in yesterday, and I introduced him to the table. Were you in there?
I was, yeah.
And I always try to teach the kids to, hey, get out and meet people. So I introduced Max to everybody as Jack. and this is what kind of young man he is. He never interrupted me, and he went along with being called Jack. And at the very end, I shook his hand. I said, well, thanks for coming in and stopping by and say hello. And he looked at me and goes, it's Max, Pat. I always get you two mixed up. I called Jack Max and Max Jack. Nobody really wanted to hear that, did they? Bob, did you want to hear that? But anyway, that's me. I'm kind of different.
It's 2 minutes now you've taken up with that, so
I'll go on. All right, Erin. So what got you into tennis? Did you play tennis in high school?
I did.
Yeah, where at?
I grew up in Middleville, Michigan, and so just south of Grand Rapids. I had 2 older sisters that played tennis. My oldest sister's 8 years older, and she was on the high school tennis team. And I didn't like sitting there and watching, so I took my first experiences. I took the racket and a ball during her tennis match, and I started hitting against the dugout of the softball. And so I just was bored. And then I moved that to our garage door and taught myself how to hit back and forth against a wall. And then I talked my parents into lessons, and that was around the age of 10, 8 to 10, I was doing that. And then at 10, I started playing tennis at a tennis club and taking lessons there. And then by age 12, I was already in the nationally ranked area. And then I played through high school, and I also played in the USTA, United States Tennis Association tournaments, and I was nationally ranked all through high school, and I got recruited to play Division I, and I ended up at University of Iowa. I was a Hawkeye. I played tennis there for 4 years on scholarship. So.
Wow. Nobody knew that, did they, Brian? Did you?
I knew that.
Brian? Well, I knew it too, but a lot of people out there in Wonder World didn't. So you have a lot to live up to, don't you? But you have a great coach.
Pressure, though.
Yeah.
No, you love it, though, don't you?
Yeah, I just play for fun.
Your mother, yep, good for you.
Yeah.
But your mother helped you along all the way since. Well, how old were you when you picked up?
I have no idea.
I think Reece was really starting to get interested in it in like 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, probably.
She started playing more seriously. We would play down the street from our house at the tennis courts in Canadian Lakes, and she wanted to start taking lessons. So I was excited about the one of our 3 kids being into tennis.
Right, I bet you were.
Jack likes the contact sports, as you probably know, and Reece is all about an more individualized sport.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome, Erin. I didn't know that about you. So after that, did you follow up after college at all? Did you go to?
So I graduated from University of Iowa, and I was in elementary education, and I moved back to Michigan, and I got a teaching job in East Grand Rapids Public Schools. And I was approached there to coach the tennis team. Their tennis programs have always been very established, and they have a lot of state championship teams. And so I was the assistant coach for the girls team and the boys team. and got to be part of a state championship team. And so I had a lot of fun doing that. I believe I was doing that for maybe 6 years of coaching. I taught for about 8 years. I met Ryan, my husband, and then we moved north to Canadian Lakes, and then I got approached a few years ago from Brenna's dad, Jeff. Brenna has an older sister that played tennis for the Big Rapids team, and they both are very good athletes. And Jeff said, I'm going to be the coach. I'm going to help coach at Big Rapids. Would you like to coach with me? And I said, I'll give it a try. I'm a little out of retirement, but anyway, so Jeff and I have been coaching this is my 3rd year. In his 3rd year, he's going to coach, or he's going to wrap it up after Brenna graduates. And then if they'll have me, I'll coach next year with Reece being a senior.
Wow.
So
time consuming?
It is, but on our nice weather days, it doesn't seem time consuming. It's nice to be outside.
Right.
The other day we had a match against Mount Pleasant, and I think it was was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday on our day off of school. We went over to Mount Pleasant, and the weather was not so fun. It was very difficult to play, but we've had a little bit of a struggle this season with the weather, but it looks good.
That's the bad thing about here. Tennis outside, baseball outside. It's tough,
Right.
tough in the spring to get it going, isn't it? We're disadvantaged.
Well, and if there's any kind of sprinkle, you can't really play because the tennis balls get wet and they don't bounce right. So,
what's more important in tennis? I was going to ask Renee yesterday. Footwork or handwork or eye work?
What was your question?
Well, like baseball, you have to have good eye contact with that ball.
Right.
I mean, like your footwork, how important that is that?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that people don't really understand about tennis is that footwork is a huge part. I mean, there's technique, but if you don't have good footwork, then that's a huge problem. So I always stress that when I'm coaching. And we do, on our bad weather days, we do a lot of footwork drills. Eye-hand coordination is obviously a huge one with tennis, especially if you're a doubles player. So, but I mean, one thing that we're as a team talking about, because we've had a lot of matches in the last 2 weeks, is the mental toughness. We have some girls that are very frustrated right now because they're dealing with wind and the cold, and but the mental toughness part of the game is something that people don't really think about until they're out there. And so to overcome, I was just talking about this to Reece, and at home with the family, I was like, one thing people forget about is that tennis is a game of losing, because you lose points all the time. And so, it's overcoming that. And so, there's a lot of people that are perfectionists, and you have to overcome that because you're going to lose points, and you have to just, I guess, be mentally tough and get through those.
Who helped you on that mental end of it when you were younger?
I had.
Who was your mentor?
My coach that taught me the majority of the foundation of my tennis career is, his name's George Capistani. He's one of the best tennis coaches in the country. And
what made him the best? Why do you say that he's the best? What did he do that?
Well, first of all, he made it a lot of fun. So he's down at Hope Tennis Center now. He runs the Hope Tennis program, and I mean, junior tennis players just gravitate towards him because he's a lot of fun. He is an immigrant from Cuba, and so he has some really cool stories about his childhood and how he had the opportunity to move to America, and so he's a very funny guy. He makes it a lot of fun, and he has an interesting tennis story himself of how he taught himself, and got better, and so and then became a coach. And I was actually one of his first nationally ranked tennis players, and then he's had many after. He's had some great tennis players come through his program, but he taught me a lot about mental toughness.
How about now? You alluded to that. Your older sister, 8 years older than you.
Yes, my oldest sister's 8 years old.
How many siblings do you have?
So I had 2 older sisters, and that's it. I'm the youngest of 3, and we all played tennis. My oldest sister did not play; she just played in high school. And then my middle sister, she played tennis for Hillsdale.
What's their names and what?
Lisa and Shelley.
And now what are they?
And our maiden name was Wolverton, or my maiden name was Wolverton.
Okay. What are they doing? Are they into tennis yet to this day?
They'll still play, but they haven't coached any.
My sister Nancy, just for shits and giggles, sits and giggles. I left the H out.
Yeah, you did.
But anyway, she's 78 years old, heartbroken. Last year, her doctor said your tennis career is over.
Oh.
She played tennis her whole life. Just loved tennis. It's something that you can do your whole life, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And do you play tennis yet to this day a lot?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think when Reece and Jack graduate after next year, I'll play more for myself. But I've been playing, as much as I can with Reece.
Is there competition at your age to go to?
Yeah, there's different leagues that I can join. I'm a little rusty. I'm competitive like these girls, and so I don't want to jump into anything until I'm ready.
Yeah, but you're pretty young yet, pretty agile. So when you and your daughter play, are you kind of to let her win?
No.
No.
You're going to answer that, Reece. What's your mother like to playing? Are you intimidated by her greatness? Well, no, there's nothing wrong with being great.
No,
your mother,
she just is competitive.
Yes, she is. I bet she is. So how is it? How do you handle that?
I'm the same way. So.
Can you beat her?
I don't know. She's beat me. She usually beats me.
Yeah. Well, but you're learning from her, aren't
yes.
you? Yes. And then the other thing I was going to ask Erin, and we should let the girls talk here in a little bit, and we will. We will. You'll get your time on the radio here. But how in tennis, and now I never played a lot of it, a little bit, but not a lot. But when you're competitive as you were, how do you look at the person's eyes that how do you know where that ball's going to go? That you have to have, where your ball's going to go, and how do they know where the ball's going to go? Because you got a big court there, and you got to get over there when that ball hits. Do you kind of see the body language from that opponent, or what do you look for when you play somebody?
Well, you're not really looking at their eyes. You're looking at their racket and the angle of their racket. And so if you see we were working on this yesterday in practice, is if you see the racket strings, angled up, then they're going to hit a lob. And just the direction, if they're going to, once you play and you practice enough that you are able to see the angle of the racket and whether it's going to be cross court, down the line, a lob.
Do you look for weakness? Do you know weakness in an opponent when you go to play?
Yeah, that's one thing that I love coaching is these at the high school level is I love the strategy part of the game, and so it's often that you're playing someone that has a weaker backhand because typically people's forehands are stronger. It's very rare to see a backhand better than a forehand, but it happens. Typically you look for the weakness. I always tell the girls as soon as you start warming up, they get a 10-minute warm-up before they play with their opponent before they start the match. And I said during the warm-up, that's when you're looking for weaknesses. What are they stronger? Do they have a hard first serve, or what type of spin are they using? So
what made you? I keep saying great, but what made you better than the average tennis player? Was it your work ethic, or was it the sense of the ball, where it was going to come and where you delivered it?
I think a lot of with tennis, it's work ethic. You have to have a lot of hours out there, just like any sport, but a lot of hours out there. And obviously you have to be an athlete, you have to have good footwork, you have to have good mental toughness, you have to be spend those extra times off season, just like any other sport. But the other thing about tennis is it's a game of acting. So if you're very upset, this is one thing that we've worked on this season too. I've had girls say that one girl said the other day, she goes, I'm so mad at myself, I just want to throw my racket. And I said, well, don't. I said, you can't show your opponent that you're upset right now. Yeah. And so it is a game of acting, and you can't show your mental weakness. Yeah, mental
no John
frustration.
McEnroe's?
Yeah. Yeah.
No John McEnroe's?
It feels really good to throw your racket sometimes, but it doesn't do you any good.
Wow, Brian, I'm talking a lot and asking a lot of questions. I could ramble on forever, but I'm going to let Brian, after taking a break here, come back on and ask a few questions. And you girls, if you want some orange juice, we don't have any, but Brian can run down to the store. Bob can. Take a break, Bob.
Come say cheers at Zott's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zott's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zott's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout, or worse, visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
Hooked at Curries.
Pete, why do you come to Curries?
I go in there for breakfast every single morning, Pack, except the week. Well, on Sunday. I usually go to church. But I love the scrambled eggs and bacon and toast. Homemade.
Boys together.
All right, we're back.
Whoa,
Before we get started,
heads up, Bob.
Before we get
you're all
started,
talking. I
know. Well, I tell you what, we want to thank our lovely little buddy there, Doug Rand and Roxanne Rand down to Zott's Bar, and Andrew down to Big Rapids Tire. They both are a great compliment to Big Rapids. Thank you. We love you for supporting Curry Sports Corner, or whatever we call this place. Hot Stove League. Miller Stove. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to wish Stacy Olson. She's Stacy Johnson now.
Yep.
Got two wonderful little girls. She turned 55 today, I think.
No, she's closer to 30, Pat.
Okay, 30. Yeah, I can't remember ages very well. She's much more mature than her age. She's much more mature than her looks. And then I want to wish my brother Joe out in Billings, Montana. I know maybe he's streamlining this morning, but he turned 70 years old today. And my younger brother Joe, him and I are very close, a year apart. But just for not to depress anybody, but life is a journey, and then sometimes the journey comes to an end. Keep my brother Joe's wife and Sheila in your prayers. She having some complications in the hospital, pretty serious. But anyway, that's about it right now, and then I'll talk about these other ones later. But let's get back to our program. Welcome,
all right,
girls.
Brenna.
Yep.
All right, so I told you I'd be coming back with you. Tell us about how long you've been on the tennis team and things that you've enjoyed, moments that really kind of come to mind as something that were special to you during your high school career.
I started my freshman year playing tennis, and I started because my sister was playing, and so then I played my sophomore year, and then my junior year I got hurt. I tore my ACL in volleyball, so I didn't play at all.
It's amazing how you hear about injuries in volleyball. You think volleyball non-contact otherwise, but there's a lot of injuries that come from volleyball.
Yeah. It was no contact. I was just jumping. And then when I came down, my knee kind of just...
But it hasn't stopped her from getting a offer from Fair State University to play volleyball for Tia Wilhelm. So congratulations, and that's awesome. So more about the tennis, because that's why we're here. But I wanted to make sure I threw that out there, because that's pretty special. So, what were some moments, I guess, in the years that you've been on the court that have kind of come to mind that are special to you?
Some moments that are special to me is all mostly just like the team aspect. So like my dad has an Instagram and he posts really funny pictures of us. So that's always been something that's like special to all of us, and we all really enjoy.
That team bond.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how's it feel to have Dad as your coach? I mean, it's sometimes when you don't have that parent as that coach, you can get away from them. Go home and not have to worry about that person. But then there they are at home in this case, or in Reese's case also. So, what's it felt like to have your dad as your coach?
I love my dad as a coach. He's like one of my best friends. So it's nice to be around him, and especially because I know next year I'm going to college and I won't see him as much. It's nice to have extra time seeing him.
And what's your expectations for yourself and the team the rest of the year? What matches do you guys have coming up that are tough ones, and ones that you guys are going to have to show some of that mental fortitude, I think, that Coach Bowman talked about?
On Friday coming up, we're playing a team that's supposed to be good. So playing them, I think we need to not get down on ourselves and try our best.
Okay, what team is that?
TC West.
TC West, okay. Are you guys here or there?
Here.
Okay, yeah, so our foreign exchange student, Tavi, they had golf on Monday, and he was up at TC, and he got home and said, man, it was cold, it was windy, and then I was corresponding with Brenna's dad, Jeff, and he said, yeah, our kids' hands were frozen, and, made for a little bit of a long day.
Yeah, well, do you guys play doubles?
We both play singles.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why I'm just I don't know the game of tennis as well as you think I do. I know I look like I'm very knowledgeable about the game, but thank God Jen's here. Jen, maybe you could answer
Or Erin.
that.
Erin.
Yeah.
He mixed up another name, a Bowman name. So I'm Erin.
Oh, geez.
That's okay. I'll answer this one. So Brenna's playing one singles and Reece is playing two singles. And Brenna and Reece are very similar tennis players. They are ability-wise. But Brenna, they played a challenge match, and Brenna won at the beginning of the season. So we have to play our best player at number one singles. And typically, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 singles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 doubles, and it kind of goes in order ability-wise. And then with the doubles players, we match up players that are going to work well together, that are going to get along. They might complement each other well. Maybe one has a better backhand, one has a better forehand, so they share the court together. So Brenna is. What did you play your freshman year? Did you play singles? I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I played 4 singles.
Okay, so Brenna, this is her first year at one singles. Her sister Addison a couple years ago played one singles for Big Rapids. Brenna's the type of player that she's just a very, very good athlete, and she doesn't pick up the racket a ton off season because she's so accomplished in her volleyball. But she can pick up the racket and scare a lot of people just because she's such a good athlete and competitor. She does not like to lose, and so she smiles
a lot.
She smiles a lot, and she is this is new to her because she's not used to losing. So she's had a rough go of it at one singles because you play the best players, but she's having fun, so that's important.
All right, look this way, girls.
So,
There you go.
Brenna, how
that's
close are you with your cousin Avery?
Not very
Not-
close.
Okay. So her
right.
cousin Avery plays hockey
Yeah.
up here in Big Rapids.
that, Avery?
Avery Outman. They're from Cedar Springs,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. That's her mom's brother's son.
Who's your doubles, Erin?
Who are our doubles?
Yeah.
Well, we have 4 doubles teams.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not going to rattle off everyone unless you want me to.
Well, you can if
or
you
the
want to.
girls actually will be better at remembering because they have to
Sure.
say the.
Yeah. So I guess I'll say it.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Our 4 dubs is Kira, and I can't remember her last name, and Hannah's in. Our 3 doubles is Olivia Stern and Kyan Weber. Our 2 doubles is Jolie Malberg and Brooklyn Hinckley, and then our 1 dubs is Marley Girding and Brianna Beaver.
Who helps you the most not being nervous when you go out there? Because you're all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy and Daddy are in the stands, or Mommy obviously is on the sideline. But do you just kind of like, does Mother help you mentally on that? Just
Yeah.
saying, you're
Yeah.
okay. Just be yourself. Don't be nervous. There's a lot of people waiting on you here. But
Yeah.
what goes through your mind before that game?
I would say that, like, my mom does a good job of helping me stay calm, but also it's like yourself. You have to basically do everything yourself. And that's the difference between doubles and singles. Is singles, it's a lot more mentally exhausting and physically exhausting because you're doing all of the work. So that's like the difference between singles and doubles players.
All right,
I would say.
real quick, Erin, I'm just curious. What separates the doubles to singles? How do you know who's going to be in singles, who's going to be in doubles? How do you pick that?
Well, the beginning of season we have challenge matches, and we also asked who wants to play singles. Because there's typically less that want to play singles. The girls typically like to, play doubles.
I see.
But we did have some Kylie Stern and Ava Martin. They're both new to varsity. They volunteered. They said they wanted to play singles, and Ava had really not picked up a tennis racket. She transferred to us from Pine River, which they didn't have a tennis team there, and she's a natural athlete, and she's going to pick it up. She's already picking it up very well, so hopefully she wants to stick with us. But Kylie Stern is a sophomore. She played JV last year, and she's done really well. So typically, if you're really good at the net, you should be in the doubles. But we definitely have to take our singles players as the best top 4.
Little kids, like T-ball, you start at what, Brian, 5?
Yeah, 5.
5. And then football, you have the little...
They're around 7 or 8 usually.
Yeah. And then tennis, when?
Well, the earlier the better. I started.
But they don't do they? Or
Yeah, they.
Do they?
I mean, people can. Yes.
like your daughter, Erin, how old was she?
I was pretty young.
Yeah, you were.
I've been playing like on and off. My whole, I would say.
Yeah, she got real serious about playing competitively at like 7th or 8th grade.
Okay. Do they have a
and
program, 7th to 8th grade program here?
Yeah, at
they do.
Ferris. Ferris has a lot of. So one thing we're really blessed with is the PTM program at Ferris, Professional Tennis Management, and so I guess I can talk about this part. We had the head of RJ, the head of the PTM program, watch us one day at indoor practice at Ferris back in March, and he approached us and said, "Hey, would you guys want some help from my program?" And we're like, yes, because he has a handful of students that there's a class, like a beginning teaching tennis 101 type class, that he has a variety of players that come out to our practices now, and they're working with the JV players and the varsity, but they are bringing a whole new everything to us, because these Ferris students that are working with the JV players who have never picked up a racket and don't know how to score, they're able to spend some time with them and get the fundamentals down first, and it allows us to work more individually with everybody on varsity too. So
like your son, Jack.
Yep.
See, I was good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to call you Jen again, but I know Erin and Jen, so that's
Yeah.
But anyway, Jack. The thrill of victory is probably in his mind when he plays football. And I was fortunate enough to go watch you guys play last year. I say watch you guys, the Cardinals. Great team they had, and one of the reasons they were great was Jack. Jack, I think he looked forward to getting the ball more than anything else and running over people or running around people. He has great moves. But where I'm going with this is Reece in tennis, like your twin brother Jack, he loves running that ball. He's getting a high off that. No drug in the world can go in his body and get what he's getting out of that football, right? What's the high in tennis for you?
I would say like winning, basically, and just like mentally being better than the other player, knowing like they're getting frustrated. I know that's kind of bad, but it's mentally rewarding when you know that they're like they're not doing good.
Where do you get that from, you think? Your mother or your dad?
Probably my mom.
Mom?
Yeah, definitely my mom.
Okay, that's good. And how about you?
For what part?
What's the high in tennis for you? Where do you really, like, your body says, wow, this is why I'm playing tennis? Where is that point in the game?
Hit a good shot and they like don't touch it. So like if that's a serve or like a forehand or backhand, or the other day, for the first time ever, I hit an overhead and it bounced like in and it went over the fence.
Wow,
I was really proud of myself.
Right,
I've
yeah.
never done that.
Yeah. Life's good, isn't it, girls? Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you be doing right now if it wasn't tennis? What would you be doing?
I'd probably be studying.
Studying?
Yeah.
Well, that's the right answer. She's smart.
No, she was always, I think, off air we were talking, when she was at St. Mary's, she was in a class at St. Mary's with a bunch of boys, and she kind of, I don't know if this is the right word, but the mother hen kind of kept all the boys in line.
Yeah.
And actually looked out for the boys, too. I mean, kind of, when I say motherly, looked out for all the boys.
Yeah, we have some great schools in Big Rapids. The public schools are doing a great job, and I'm not blowing smoke, but I'm really definitely proud of St. Mary's. I went there, my dad went there, and my children, my grandchildren. But I seriously, I just love Jack and Max and Jack. When they come in the station, I put them to the wall and say to them, "What did St. Mary's mean to you?"
Yeah.
And they come out with the most positive responses. So I mean, they're great spokesmen for that school.
Well, I can tell you, when Cameron had
and I'm sure you would too, Reece.
Yeah, I think St. Mary's helped me a lot with my confidence, because we do a lot of like public speaking, and you kind of have to like go out of your comfort zone, and I think it has benefited me in lots of ways, study habits and just excelling me for my future. I think that it was great.
Yeah, I know. I alluded to that yesterday with Max. I said he would get up there in the pulpit and read, and my sons did too. And to this day, they can get up and speak and not be frightened by it. So there's a lot of positives. Thank you. How about you in your school? How are you doing academically? You're probably a 4-point, aren't you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I have like a 3.8.
Who pushes you the most, your mother or dad? Or neither one?
Probably, well, my sister's really, really smart. So kind of just living up to that.
But you said your dad and you were best friends, eh?
Yeah.
Yep. How about mom? What does she do for you? Cook? Huh?
More than that. I also really like.
She a fan too?
What?
Your mom's a fan too, right?
Of me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so very big fan.
How tall are you? The reason I ask you that, my little Maddie May, my granddaughter's only 13. She's not the tallest. She plays with Casey's daughter and that, and she loves volleyball.
Yeah.
But she's not going to be 6 foot.
Yeah.
And I see you're not 6 foot.
No.
But you must be a setter then, is it what they call it?
I'm a DS libero, which means I'm just back row.
What's that? DS libero?
DS is defensive specialist.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a few games last year because Tia, wow, she had a phenomenal team, and everybody in town was so proud of her, and rightfully so. She's just a tremendous person, let alone being a great coach. But there's volleyball is very exciting, and the fan base is getting bigger here in Big Rapids. I think they should have built a bigger stadium. I had to sit way up on top by myself.
Well, I think volleyball's actually progressing. I mean, the popularity, I mean, you look at the travel teams or otherwise that they have here in Muskegon area. I think some of the girls go down there, and just it's really taken off.
But Erin, we're talking about tennis. We just got sidetracked there for a little bit. But anyway, Reece, you're a junior in high school. You're playing tennis. Is this your number one sport?
Yeah, I just play tennis.
Okay. So after high school, we don't want to rush things because then I'll be 73.
Okay.
But anyway, when you get out of high school, is there any way you're looking at maybe going into college and playing ball like Mom?
No, I really like tennis, and I love the team. I love playing, but I will go to school just for my academics.
Good, yeah. And what's that? What are you going to get into?
I'm not completely sure yet. I am thinking somewhere in finance, economics, or somewhere in the business. That kind of stuff.
Good for you. I love it, way she responds. That's great. Well, anyway, Erin, I think it's wonderful that parents like you get involved, first of all. And I see you're kind of like my daughter-in-laws. They're very much involved with their girls and guys, my grandkids there. And I think it's wonderful. But you sat back for a few years out of coaching, but now you're back into it. You see yourself coaching for quite a few years left in?
I don't know about that because
I understand.
We'll see what happens after Reece graduates. I might go into retirement again, but I'd like to play a little bit more tennis for myself, and I think I'll do that for sure. But John Coles is the coach for the boys team, and he played in college as well, and so I think in the next few years we'll maybe be looking for some new tennis coaches, but it's really nice to be involved with it right now.
I'm sure it's going to be hard to replace you, but it's definitely going to be hard to replace John Coles.
Yeah, he's been great for the tennis program, and all together with the boys and the girls, and a big advocate for the tennis program. So, but Carson, his son, is such a great tennis player. I don't know if you know, but Reece dates Carson.
Oh, yes. Really?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up, but I wasn't sure if they were still dating.
Yeah,
we are.
So you guys play against each other?
We play sometimes,
sure
but he's a lot better than me.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the boys team, they're involved with the middle school tennis, so they're helping build the younger kids, getting them interested in it, and it's nice. The middle school tennis, I think, just started up again, and they've been practicing after us, and so.
Well, if anybody can get it done, John Coles can get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Saw him in the paper this morning getting an award that was overdue, but he's done a lot for the community, more so for the kids, though. He's just a wonderful person. Yeah. But does he have an assistant coach, and then you coach with somebody else too, right? He said.
John Coles, I think last fall he had maybe one of the Ferris players or PTM. I think he had an assistant from Ferris. And then Jeff Mosel, Brenna's dad, is the head coach. I've been the assistant for 3 years. And then next year, if they'll have me, I'll coach. I'll be the head coach.
Why wouldn't they?
And so I'll be looking for an assistant coach.
I know Chris Jensen. I think he was a tennis player, wasn't he? Didn't he used to coach?
Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I know baseball.
Volleyball he was too, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We've had a lot. Big Rapids had a lot of great athletes turned into coaches in our later years here. It used to be just teachers coached, but now you guys are, I say you guys, I'm putting you in that category of parent again, but I'm very grateful for that, because I think athletes turn into be pretty good people later on in life, believe it or not, don't they, Erin?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going back to the volleyball talk with Brenna. Brenna, if you've ever watched her play volleyball, she's all over the volleyball court, and if you watch her play tennis, she's all over the tennis court. And so it's been fun so if anybody is interested in watching more volleyball, it'll be fun to see Brenna next year at Ferris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So how many girls are on the tennis team?
We have 12 on varsity, and we have 11 on JV.
Is it hard to recruit them?
No, I wouldn't say that. Sometimes because soccer makes cuts. Sometimes after soccer, that first week of tryouts, if they have some girls that they need to cut, they'll come over and play. And we did have that this year. We had, she said, I got cut from soccer and I want to do something. And so we're like, well, this is the place for you. So
Footwork again.
Yeah, and it's been,
how hard is it to learn tennis? It's a pretty hard sport.
I think it's,
I
think it's frustrating. One of the girls that came to us this year that's new on varsity, that's a natural athlete, she is, more mentally frustrated right now, but she's just a competitor, and so she wants it to happen overnight. And going back to tennis being, you lose a lot of points, and so it's tough.
What do you tell a girl like that? She's got the athleticism to be a good athlete, but is it footwork? Do you tell
mentally
her to work on,
tough? Yeah,
mentally more
and
than
getting
anything else?
in lots of reps. Hitting lots of tennis balls. But the other thing is that we try to stress is that you can have a lot of tennis lessons and hit a lot of tennis balls or fed a lot of tennis balls, but you really get better in match play. And so the more you play, because it's a totally different thing when you're on the court and playing out a match than just hitting tennis balls back and forth.
Do you have anybody that ever, you're young at coaching yet, but do you see kids coming out for it and then realize that they just can't do it, or not? Do they keep going?
You see with tennis, we have, there's always kids that aren't as athletically talented, but that's why it's such a great sport lifelong that you can play. So, I think some people want to throw their racket and be done, but
Right.
And that's what's so fun about seeing all the people involved with pickleball, because it's getting people, moving and out there, and at all ages and levels. So,
well, I think that pickleball, as popular as this got, and maybe we'll fall back on the tennis and get more people, younger people, I guess, involved with the tennis.
Yeah, such a huge advocate for tennis, but pickleball really is carrying some of the indoor tennis centers around because there's so many people involved with pickleball now, and there's pickleball courts inside, and people in the colder climates are going towards that, but it's tennis is I would say it's a little bit of a struggle right now to get people as interested in tennis, but it's still getting, pickleball's still getting people out there and in tennis centers. So,
Jack, go to your games, Reece?
He went to one of them. So far,
I should call them matches, right?
Yeah.
Call them matches.
Yeah, matches.
Does he help you though mentally at all, saying, "Hey, you're tough, you can do this," or whatever? You guys talk a lot about athletics.
Not really, no. But
Okay.
if he was there, he just has only been to a couple. He's very busy with his training for football and everything.
Right.
So I only see him when I get home.
Yeah.
I see him at school, but then I see him afterwards. So we'll have to make him come to some.
Yeah, he gets there. He's been training a lot off season for football. And this is a big year for recruitment. So
where's he been training?
JD
at?
Fit.
Central. I know they have camps over there. They got camps at Ferris. Is he going to camps right now, or is he just working out the weights?
He's working out at JD Fit 4 days a week, and then he does some speed and agility stuff too on his own. And then he's starting, at the camp season will start. He's been invited to some camps right now, and he's signed up for some others. We just visited Hope last week, with some other football recruits. So
He's a worker.
Yeah, oh no, I know both of them are very well disciplined, aren't they? They're focused on what they want to
Yeah.
do. I think next year, folks out there in Wonder World, if you want to see some exciting football, the Bowmans are going to put some exciting football on that field, both of them, Jack and Max. I just love them to death, and the speed they have, and they've really dedicated their young lives into promoting Big Rapids football. I know they got some other great players on that team too, and later on this year we'll have them on here. But I'm looking forward to seeing them on the field. Those two boys, I bet you are too.
Jack's class, the juniors now, so the seniors next, and Brian Miller and I have talked about this for years, that class is full of great athletes, and so our football team especially has a lot of talent in that class.
You look at that junior, I mean, for boys and girls, but that junior class of boys from a young age has been coming. I mean, John Coles and I had the same conversation when we were, when the boys were younger.
Yeah, look at Carson is such a,
and not just one sport, but multi-sports.
Yeah.
You look at throughout, and it's pretty even throughout. That it's a large class, but they've always been pretty tight too as a whole.
Cameron's a junior.
He's a junior.
He's a good football player too. He's big.
Well, yeah, he's 6 foot 190. I think he was we just got a physical. I think 6 foot 193.
Okay, he's a nice young man.
Yes.
Jumping course here for a little bit. Did I see where he pitched the other day down in Kalamazoo?
Yep. He pitched, and then they're home today against Tri-County, and then they're for 2 games, and at Tri-County tomorrow for a game. Then they're home with Traverse City St. Francis on Saturday.
That was the first time he pitched.
Yeah.
Kalamazoo.
Yep. Yeah.
Against probably the best team they're going to face all year.
I don't know. They were a good team. I wasn't there.
It's probably one of the best teams they've played, and then they throw Cam in there.
Yep, they did. They did well.
Don't they throw him in there when he plays somebody that whoop him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, we'll do that.
Yeah,
later. We'll talk.
They got
That's
a good
another
team.
discussion. Huh? No. They what, Brian?
They got a good team.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So anyway, Reece, what else? What else is there to talk about in life? What would you like to talk about on the air about? How great your mother is and your father? We haven't talked about your dad. What influence does he have on you?
He's very good at supporting me. He struggles because with tennis you're not supposed to cheer super loud or
I could see that.
Cheer for when the other person makes mistakes, but he's good at supporting me, and he likes it.
How about grandpa? Your grandpas.
My
Talk
grandpa
about them.
too.
Yeah.
He also does not understand that you're not supposed to. So during tennis, you're not allowed to talk to anyone.
Right. You're gotta be
Besides
quiet.
when you switch over and you can talk to your coach, and that's it. So my grandpa will try to talk to me. So I will have to. I have to tell him you can't talk to me.
Which one?
My grandpa Bowman.
Oh.
Yeah.
They, if I remember right, they throw people out for talking, don't they, Erin?
Yeah.
Or no?
You can get in
It's
big
pretty
trouble.
serious.
Well, I remember going to, because Cameron played tennis his freshman year, and if you ever sat at a sporting event with John Zacco, I just remember sitting there with him, and it took him a while to get accustomed because Isaac played.
Well, and tennis is a game of etiquette, so if someone makes a mistake, you can't clap or cheer or anything like that. But if it's a clean winner, like Brenna says she likes to hit, which she does, a lot of them, you can cheer on that. So.
Yeah,
Obviously, you haven't been to the U.S. Open.
No, Bob, I have been to the U.S. Open.
In New York?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, we're going to take a break.
Yeah, let's do that.
After that.
Be right back, and then we'll wrap things up on Curries Hot Stove League. Come say cheers at Zot's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zot's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zot's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout or worse. Visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
Looked at Curries.
Pete, why do you come to Curries?
I go in there for breakfast every single morning, Prac, except the week. Well, on Sunday. I usually go to church. But I love the scrambled eggs and bacon and toast. Homemade.
All right.
All right, we're back, eh? All right, Erin, here's a question for you. Question number 1, 2, 3. No. Who's the best tennis player that you ever believed you've seen or played?
Like watched or?
Yeah. Who's the? I mean,
Well, I
who do you
think the
is-
greatest tennis player is Roger Federer.
Okay. That's modern
That's
day.
been fun, yeah, for me. I think so.
You learn anything from him?
Well, I don't know. I would just say he's just his
But do you
greatness
ever-
of it. So.
But do you watch? The reason I asked you that, do you watch him play and say, "I can do that," or "I need to do that, work on that"? Or
I
not?
say I wish I could do that.
Okay, well, you're honest. I love you for that. That's for sure. No, I just wondered if, like, a
No,
lot
he's
of
so
quarterbacks
accurate. It's crazy, his accuracy. But I mean, there's so many professional tennis players that are, accurate as well.
But do you ever
But he's-
watch anybody and say, "I'm going to try to work on that move"? Is that something that, or doesn't it?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I think I used to be that way when I was playing competitively, but now I just watch for fun and
Reece, how about you? Do you have anybody that you look up to say, "I'm going to try to emulate that person"?
So I like watching tennis, and I like it's fun. But I don't really have anyone that I would say I like.
She's sitting right next to you.
But also, I would say it does get kind of boring to watch sometimes. So I like to play it more than watch it, I would say.
You're a very good speaker.
Thank you.
And so are you. But I just watch you, your body language when you talk. You know who you remind me of? We've had her on the show a couple of times. Is that Miss Michigan there, Tasty?
Oh, Libby? Yeah, she's one of my very close friends.
You and Libby, pretty much twins here. I see that on the radio.
That's funny.
Anyway, well, we got a few more minutes. Brian, anything else?
Do you had your other list of people there you wanted before we thank the ladies for coming in?
You talk about athletes. Caleb Fish, his grandpa George Dunn and I were very, very good friends. George was like a second dad to me back in the day when I was younger. We'd coon hunt together, and he showed me a lot of techniques in the woods, and we had some great coon dogs, and just a great life he helped me have when I was in my younger years. Anyway, had it be then later on, his great grandson Caleb Fish, his folks, they're both from here. She was I can't remember her maiden name, but anyways, George's granddaughter. And Fish from Stanwood, they moved down by Grand Ledge, I think it was, or something down by Lansing anyway, Holt. And then he wrestled in high school, and he was an all-state champion for, I think, 4 years. But now he's in Division I wrestling, and he
Oklahoma State, I think, right?
Huh?
I think he's at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and he won the championship, and therefore President Trump had him at the White House, and recognized him out there, so he's on Facebook. If you want to look up the Fishes, they're on the Facebook. So that's quite a compliment from somebody from Big Rapids. We've had a lot of great athletes, and I'm sure we're going to hear of the Bowman boys someday in college too. And
Brenna.
Huh?
And Brenna.
Yes.
Oh, Brenna. Yes, of course. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I'm just full of myself, aren't I? But anyway, I want to congratulate Caleb Fish and the Dunns.
Nice family.
And all the relations down in Stanwood there. I just want to talk about Brenda Miller for a minute on a sober note.
Yes.
Her husband, they dedicated a wing of the Miller Wing over in MOSD there. He was a principal there for many years. Bob was his first name. They lived down in Indian Village, and therefore they would frequent the Curries a lot. And we made a relationship, and I could almost cry right now because I heard the bad news this morning, the sad news of Brenda, her passing. And her leaving Big Rapids, she gave me a big hug, and there she said to me, I might never see you again, but our memories will last forever. And she left that day, and I never did see her again. She moved down to be with her daughter, I believe, in Grand Rapids area. I don't.
All I know is you walked into Brookside Elementary, and she was the first person you saw, and always smiling, always just a godly woman.
Yeah, she was, and she was an inspiration to me, as a lot of other ladies in this town have been. But I call them my mothers, and I used to call her my mother, even though she was only maybe 10 years older than me, maybe not. But I tell you, you kids are kids right now, and life's good right now, but just enjoy your mother every day, because you know what? You never know when your mother's going to be gone. My mother's been gone almost 30 years, and I could cry tomorrow, start thinking about my mother, because she's such a great memory. Brenda was that way with so many kids in our community, so many adults in this community. She drove an Explorer. I can tell you the color. I can tell you the mileage every time she came in. She was just a tremendous young lady that really instilled in everybody a happiness. She just had that beautiful smile and those grateful words of encouragement. I love you, Brenda, and I know you're around the throne tonight. God bless you. All right, and then we have a new baby. What's that song that, Docs in the Cradle? No, come on, Bobby, you know music better than I do.
Cats in the Cradle?
Cats
in the Cradle. Is that the one where one passes and the other one, or is that a different song?
No, but he
come on,
got forgotten. He never took time for his son, and then his son grew up, and then he didn't have time for his dad.
So the exact opposite then.
Yeah, that's not the song we want.
No, there's another one it's about... It's My Time to Go, and there's another one, To Carry On. Yeah. I can't remember.
Sounds like a country song.
Nope.
They all sound like country
But Maze Elliott, Blake Elliott and his wife just had a new baby girl. He has 3 wonderful daughters. The youngest one prior to this one, I think, is 17, so there's a lapse there. This could be an aunt to a sister. But anyway, we've got a new baby in town, Elliott. So, yeah, that's about it. So, ladies.
Yeah.
What's your outlook on the rest of the year, and then we'll kind of fade off.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell me about your home matches this week.
We have some home matches this week and some matches next week, but I'm mostly just excited to spend time with people on my team, enjoy Brenna before she leaves us, and just keep on working hard. We work hard, so it's fun.
Have you been playing up there in volleyball at Ferris at all? Practicing with the girls?
I can't practice because there's rules, but I go to open gyms.
Well, I'm excited. We have a local girl playing on Ferris team. That's great. I was hoping that Jack would go up to Ferris and play football. He's good enough. He's fast. I just loved to watch him last year. I'm looking forward to this year. But you're going to bring a lot of people up there to watch you. And my wife and I are going to be up there because we went up there last year at the end there, and we was really excited. It's a good game and it's fast.
Yeah,
athletes. Yeah, it's good. All right.
What about your
Yep, go ahead.
So, outlook on the season then?
I say the same as Reese. Just trying to enjoy my last year.
Good. Enjoy the time with Dad too, because that's pretty special.
Yeah.
We have home tonight against Cedar Springs, and Friday home against Traverse City West, and then next week. Let's see what we have.
Where's it at, Erin?
We're home at the high school.
Okay.
At the high school tennis courts, kind of up by the stadium.
Yeah.
And next week we go to Fremont, and then we host Cadillac, and then at the end of next week we go. The girls get to miss a day of school, and we're going to play a tournament.
Look at them,
at Boyne City.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's on Friday, the day before prom. So
Is it turning out as good as you think it should be right now? Girls playing?
That we have a building year just because we have a lot of new players to varsity, and so we've had more losses than wins, but like the girls said, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it's all about, because it is a sport that they can play for the rest of their lives. And,
Yeah.
So
I would say, at the end of the day, I don't really remember what I win and lose, but I just remember, I remember that was really fun when we went here and did this.
And that's what it's about.
That's what I mostly remember. I'm not going to remember, I lost this amount, by this person, you know. So that's what I would say I enjoy the most is just the people and spending time with them.
Yeah, well, good.
All right. Thanks,
so
ladies.
congratulations to Reece and Brenna. They are the Zot's Signature Player of the Week.
And a set of tires at Big Rapids Tires. Kidding, just joking. Well, God bless America.
Thank you, ladies.
God bless you, girls, and good luck
Thank
in
you.
the rest of the season. Thanks a lot, Erin, for coming in and bringing these fabulous girls in this morning.
All right. Go Cards.
Morning sun lights the day, Pat and Brian on the way. Stories of a small town life. Sports and joy cut like a knife. Hot stove league and full chat. High school dreams and college stats. Wednesday morning tales unfold, memories and news retold. Tune in B1039, Curries voice and life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side, lively bluegrass, hearts fly.